I don't knock at all. But do you ever see us making trips to ancient Mississippian mounds, ancient Mississippian
Right,
spiritual centers, and things like that, the same way that we'll make sure to go on that trip to ancient Egypt?
right. Yeah, I don't see that, and I would love
Mm.
to see that. You know,
Yeah,
might need to just I might need to just start that up because man, it's right in our back door. We could really
it
get
is.
there with not as much effort as you need to really get in and take and sit on the plane for however many hours it take to get all the way to Egypt. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like we got
right.
all these Egypts in our backyard, you know?
Wow.
So I mean, that's one thing that we could do too to kind of get back to it and connect the younger generation with this information is start visiting these sites and just see
Mm,
how elaborate they are
yeah,
because some of these sites is like 35 acres big, you know
wow.
what I mean,
That's
like
crazy.
grand palace type things where you have platform mounds, conical mounds, effigy mounds, mounds shaped as birds, all different sorts of things, that's really kind of just like we don't even talk about it here.
It's just sitting there.
Yeah, we don't even connect. When
See,
you talk about Native Americans, you don't even talk about mounds, you know what I'm
that's
saying?
right. You don't.
You're
You
talking
don't.
about teepees. You're not talking about
Yeah.
mounds or
Wow.
any high civilization like that.
Wow.
So that is something for sure that I think that would be powerful.
Yeah.
To
Facts.
to give us that passion and that heritage feeling back. And
Yeah.
having a sense of belonging somewhere, and not feeling like you a refugee in
Mm,
a land that you just got
come on.
brought to.
I'm an immigrant. That's what some people think of themselves as. Like, I'm just here.
Right,
Like,
right.
it's
A
not my
lot of
land.
people say,
Ah,
I hear that all the time. They say America
yes.
is like a country built by immigrants, and they
Mm.
they are including us in that.
Yeah.
You feel like we
Yeah,
was the
I know.
first ones supposedly.
That's crazy.
Like,
Yes.
come on, man, that's not the
Yes.
case.
Yeah. Man, it's not, Miles. And from being immersed now when it comes to studying the mounds and reading about that, all of those things. And then as well of seeing, man, we had things such as well when it comes to the southeastern ceremonial complex of seeing that in Natchez, Mississippi, and seeing all of those things. And Miles, also that picture that again that you had pulled up about the people meeting from different parts of North America. What happened to all of those big spiritual centers? Because these buildings, these temples, they were huge. Where did they go? Where did they go?
That's interesting, man. So, okay, can we pull up one more thing?
No, for sure, for sure.
Okay, check this out. So, pull up Cortez meeting with Montezuma. It should,
Okay.
and when we go to the images, it should populate what I'm trying to show the people. Okay, scroll down.
Actually take that one out so you'll be able to see.
Yeah, down. So, okay, right there. The
Here?
go to your right and go to your right again. Perfect.
Here?
Washington State University Live. No, right here. To your left.
Right. Got you.
To your left. Right there. Boom. Yes. Washington State University Library Digital Collections. This is the resource. Okay. So we click on
Oh, I
that.
see the headdress. Wow.
They're in
Wow.
Mexico.
Wow. Hold on, Miles. Pause real quick, right?
Understand that they're in Mexico.
Miles, real quick. We got to pause. Reason being is, right? This headdress right here was not shown in any other pictures.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen this headdress, the same one. If y'all have
Mm.
been scrolling on social media, on YouTube, reading books, you see the same headdress when it comes to ancient Mississippians as well, Miles. So I just had to
Yeah,
say that
yeah,
real quick because that's the first thing that had popped
right.
out to me. It was the
Yeah,
headdress.
for sure. Yeah, the feather hairdress, the
Yeah.
one that stick up, the
Yes.
the war bonnet. that they created the one that the Native
Exact.
Americans wear,
Wow.
that's not historically accurate.
And short curly hair right here. I see this.
Short curly hair,
Wow.
you feel me?
I'll let you cook, Miles. Hey,
You
I just had
know?
to say
So
that because
uh,
that's the first time. That's the first time I've ever seen this image.
mhm,
I'm mind blown. That's crazy. Yeah.
there you go. You and look at what Montezuma is wearing. So Cortez is, adorn like he's, what do you call it? He's giving respect to
Yep.
Montezuma.
Yep.
So if you look at Montezuma, he got this dripped out, robe on,
Yep.
jewelry and everything. You see his crown, he got
Yep.
this point. It's the same
Wow.
as Satriona. The
Yes.
the
Yep.
Metropolitan Museum, when they had their write up on the Satriona sculpture, they made the
Wow.
connection with Montezuma having this like zenith in the middle, like
Wow.
saying that
Yep.
American kings had this particular type of crown.
Yep.
So now if we just zoom out a little bit,
Let me zoom back in.
this this meeting is happening. Let's see where exit out of the image real quick
Mm-hmm.
and go to the description of what they saying the location.
Description. One
So
friend.
the
Remember
meaning of
Cortez.
Cortez and Montezuma in 1519,
Mexico City.
Emperor of Mexico in now Mexico City.
Right back again. It connects.
So let's go back to the image.
Wow. Let me scroll up. Wow.
So that's 1519.
Miles, I've never seen
So
because y'all,
not 1562.
this
Satriona is 1562.
so the year for this,
It's
s-
1519.
wow, 1519, right here. Yep.
Right.
Wow.
So now you look at
Wow.
Mexico City. Look at
Mm-hmm.
the buildings.
Yeah, very advanced. Yes, very advanced. Wow.
This if you just go type Mexico City right now. Like go back to Google real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do something real quick. If you type
And
in
we're gonna type
Mexico
in Mexico
City,
City. And Miles, real quick for the people, just to see how we're not tripping. You notice how it's different on this picture when it's created by somebody else.
oh
How he
yeah, for
looks,
sure.
the headdress,
Definitely.
everything.
Definitely.
Wow. Mexico
Definitely.
City, 1562, right?
No, we just gonna go to current day Mexico City.
Oh, current day Mexico City. Got you.
Yeah.
I just typed in Mexico City. I got
Yeah.
you. The buildings, yeah.
Now, whoa, you feel me? That looked like the damn building that was. It looked like the building that was
And they
in
look
the
older now.
drawing,
Yep.
and they look older now. They look weathered. They look like they stood the test of time. They have the same arch doors that the engraving has. You know what I'm saying?
So we about
It's
to go right back to
just
that and compare it.
we're gonna go right back and compare it.
I think it was on
So
the
when you
same
ask
tab.
where are these buildings, it's like it's
They're still
crazy
here. They're still here.
because
We
you
just
can
gotta
see the
look.
points, like the tips of the buildings and everything. It's gonna come out. It's coming out.
I should have said it. What was it? We said what was this
It's
one?
coming up. I think so. Yeah, right there. I mean,
Very interesting.
current
Not too far
current
off.
day, current Mexico City. Look at the
That
buildings.
wow.
Look at the way they got the windows cut and the
And the
doorways cut.
architecture. Yep.
This is the
And look,
same. The
and Miles, I didn't even
architecture
catch
is
this.
exactly the same.
You got royal court up here still. You got headdresses.
The hairdressers everywhere. It's real
Wow.
government going on.
Wow.
So the thing about it is that they went to I believe the Inca first. I
Mm.
think with Carlos Quinto, with
Mm.
Charles V. And I think after that it was Mexico. And then after
Wow.
that it was Florida. So they ran into Florida. They ran into like Satriona that were actually like Tuscaloosa first. There
Mm.
was a big war with Tuscaloosa. And then after that is Satriona, is a lot of Atina, it's all this different stuff that's taking place. But not we not diving into this storyline. like this narrative, we on the horse narrative. Like we not we somewhere off in Spain talking about we was collectively in 1492 fighting against um
Mm,
King Ferdinand and
yep.
Isabella
Isabella. Yeah.
in
Wow.
Spain. No,
Wow.
14, like no, because this whole population of black people, like real black people over here, and that's Mexico. That's
Yeah.
not even
Miles,
southeast where
bro.
we from.
Bruh. Look at this right here. You could tell by the phenotype, his nose, his lips, his hair, his skin. These
Yeah,
are
for
melanated
sure.
people. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
And
definitely.
instead in school, it's another image where it's lighter skin and they don't look like this. Wow.
Ooh, I'm about to show you something real quick.
Yeah, I'm about to
Peep
pull it
the
up.
you peep this up right here. You see this kind of
It
like
just
awning that they have?
it
Dang, I
just
name of that.
froze. You
Pull
just
that
froze. Hold on,
that image back up real quick. Oh,
yep,
it went
I
out.
got you.
Okay, okay.
Let me pull you right back up. I got you. I'll pull it right
Oh,
back up.
okay. I'm
All
about
right, I
to
got it right here.
show something real quick. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. So we see that awning that's like being used to like protect from the sun from whoever is
Mm-hmm.
sitting up under it.
Yep.
I'm about to go back into Theodore DeBry's book really quick. Give
And
me
I
one.
think it's a
I'm
woman right there
just
too,
trying to
Miles.
find it.
I'm pointing
Is
at
it a
right here.
woman?
I think so. That's right here because it's a headdress that sticks out right here and it's right underneath.
Mm,
I would have to
yeah.
make it
The
clear.
seat may be. I'm trying to see like the actual seat may be. I'm not sure who's sitting in there.
Oh, I
Can't
see what
really
you're saying.
tell.
Yep, how's the seat right here?
The
That
seat may be a little bit lower,
yep. I
but let
think the
me
seat was
pull this up right here.
Montezuma's. Yep, let's check it out. Let me pull it up.
Oh, hold on. Let me take this blur off real quick.
I'm about to maximize you real quick. I got you. Yep, got you.
So they got they.
Oh, it's
This
the
is
same
this
one.
is yeah. It's kind of like the same type of thing,
Yep.
you know. And then also if we look at I think that they had that same. No, it may be a little bit different. But I was just trying to show the connection with
Hmm.
the different practices and customs, like with that being right there in that image.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can see we look at the right source material, we gather a totally different perspective on what is
Yeah.
actually going on.
Yes.
So when you look at just like the symbolism of kingship is the same crown, like going from
Mm.
north all the way down to
Yes.
South America. The same type
Yes.
of crown. It is we're using the same thing to represent our royalty. You know what I mean?
Man, that.
And not just to mention that, but you trade in different stones, different paints. You have certain colors that's coming from Mexico that's popping up in Georgia.
Mm.
So and when I talk about like different colors that they making down there, we trading with them, and it's popping up in the southeast out here. So we can piece together the story. We just got to kind of let the other stuff that we learn go for right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Because it doesn't even allow for us to kind of dive into this.
Mm.
If we just thinking that we from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's like, who are these people?
Mm. Yeah, man, this is a really heavy conversation because everybody's uncomfortabilities is basically getting exposed. Like you can say, "Oh, I'm from over here," but once you start seeing images and historical accounts of things such as that, you can't deny that. And Miles, man, that's the first time I've ever even seen a picture like that where it depicts Montezuma, all of his people, as dark melanated people, and not it's the
Right.
same stuff from movies like Apocalyptico, where you see, of course, like
Right.
Mexican or like Latin type of people, but this one right here shows these people had dark skin, that they had kinky hair, and they look just like me and you. So seeing that,
Right.
man, I'm just amazed by that, man. And Miles, overall, for people who might feel overwhelmed when it comes to discovering it, just good, solid information about ancient Mississippian culture, right? What is that good initial first step to start? Just, I would say, immersing ourselves into this gradually and not feeling overwhelmed to where I'm not smart like Miles and I don't know how to find all these documents or all these historical accounts. What is a good first step?
A good first step is, well, so like really it's all about chronology, really. And when we stay on the a timeline, it'll
Mm-hmm.
really help us not be so overwhelmed with all these different things that are like happening in
Mm-hmm.
time. Like
Mm-hmm.
you won't, if you stay on a timeline, you'll be able to like not get swamped with all these
Mm-hmm.
different narratives that may
Mm-hmm.
exist far apart from each other. But you
Mm-hmm.
may actually be throwing it together and not understanding history the way that it really was. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
if we stay on the timeline, if we start off in the 1500s
Mm-hmm.
here and just gather all of what we can know about Florida and Virginia first, you know, because we got to know where they popped up at. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like that'll help us understand this Mississippian narrative a little bit better. I feel like it's hard to understand Mississippian history if you don't understand like just the first colonial history,
Mm-hmm.
like in like the 13 colonies.
Yeah.
Like if we don't know colonial history and we just go to Mississippian history, we'll think of Mississippian history as just being like this ancient, far off history
I see. Yep.
from a
Yep.
group of people that were like now extinct.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But if you look at colonial history, and I'm talking about like when they first set up shop here, the first 13 colonies, that'll that history that was going on at that time is connected to Mississippian history.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So when Mexico first got here, when the Netherlands first got here, we still had Mississippian customs and
mm,
practices. You know what I'm saying? So knowing about the 13 colonies, that particular history, knowing about when Spain first got here in Florida, that will help us understand the total picture.
mhm.
Because if you don't have that, we're gonna think that we're still from somewhere else. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly.
And you
Exactly.
won't be able to totally tie it in. So if we look at where this came from, this is the National Park Service, United States Department of Interior.
Mhm.
Okay. So a government source, archaeology program, timeline, 5000 BC, 1000 BC. This is considered archaic woodland periods. The first mounds in the southeast, used mainly to bury the dead, were probably constructed between 8000 and 1000 BC. By around 800 AD, a distinct way of life was developing in the lower delta. Okay? We have to understand that. All right, now first let me tell you this, because they
Mhm.
say 8,000, they say first constructed between 8,000 and 10,000 BC. I was in New Orleans last December, actually Baton Rouge last December. The University of Louisiana, LSU. So LSU, they have mounds on their campus, right? So they when I went there, they had gates up around the mounds, and they had these like signs, these like printed signs that were posted on the gates. And one of the signs stated that they had recently updated the dating and it was pushed back.
Wow.
So it was recently believed. I think I emailed it to you, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for it really quick. I'm gonna just read it to you. So I say all that to say that they updated the LSU mounds, but that means that this timeline has to be updated.
That's right. I see. Yep.
Give me 1 second. I'm about to pull this up. Baton Rouge. I'm just about to read what it said. So it says LSU mounds. Okay, a time for action. The mounds are the oldest known human-made earthworks in the Americas. Recent studies now estimate that the mounds could be up to 11,300 years old, updating previous studies that estimated they were built 6,000 years ago.
Wow.
This is a picture that I took at LSU of the mounds. So they're talking about those specific mounds.
Wow.
They thought that those mounds were built 6,000 years ago at LSU. Now they pushed it back to 11,300 years ago at LSU,
Wow.
meaning we got to push this timeline back. But let's not even
Yep.
do that. Let's just stay here with the timeline that we got 8,000 first created 8,000 BC.
Yep.
Okay. That is before anyone else is doing anything
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
on a mass scale. You
It
know,
is.
this is predating ancient Mesopotamia.
Mm. Wow.
And ancient Mesopotamia is where it supposedly starts at.
Yeah.
You know, it's supposed to be if we look at if we were to search up anyone else's timeline, if we go to like history.com's timeline, they're gonna have Mesopotamia before they have Egypt,
Yep.
you know, before they had the old kingdom Egypt.
Yep.
So if you look at us over here, now check out 5,000 BC to 1,000 AD, right? So it says the first mounds were probably constructed between 8,000 and 1,000 BC. Check this out. If you go all the way to the far right, it says landing in Florida in 1539, and Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto witnessed a culture in decline. Wait, what?
Yeah. I read that part too earlier. Yep.
That's AD.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
going from 8,000 BC
That's a long time.
all the way to 1539 AD, a culture
That's
in decline.
that's a long time.
That's
Old and
so
tired.
that's old and tired, and we done seen it all, and we done been through it all. We multiple generations that have kept up a culture
With
for
those
so
customs.
many years with those customs, practices, and
Man,
traditions.
Miles, listen, bro, you were cooking because the late Dr. John Henry Clark said by the time Africa and ancient Kemet was getting conquered by the Romans and the Greeks, he already said they were already old and tired, right? So, on that same standpoint, from everything that you just presented, those same sentiments and same factors applies towards this even more because they were old and tired as well. Because this was extremely ancient by the time it's 1670. So you're talking about 5,000 BC all the way up to 1670. That's a long time.
8,000 BC all the way to
8,000.
16.
Yeah, yeah. Excuse me,
8,000.
8,000
If,
BC.
yeah, if
Yes,
even if we just use this,
exactly.
like that's 8,000 BC, just not being affected by anything else. Like
Wow.
there's no other culture that's coming in over here and dominating.
Wow.
Like there's this southeastern ceremonial complex is intact
Wow.
from BC to AD. You
Wow.
know what I mean? That's like a trip to think about that. Like that
Mm,
that Tuscaloosa and Saturniona and all these different kings that was fighting against the first Spanish or the first French, you know, were practicing the same customs of mound building and religious practices and traditions as those that were 10,000 BC, man.
that's
And then
amazing.
you think and you throw into that the fact that we over here writing in Hebrew,
Mm,
you know, we got these customs that resemble customs out of the Bible. It's a
wow.
trip. I had to get the the name of the settler, but the settler spoke on the fact that I really don't want to speak about it without having the name of the settler, but
Hmm.
he spoke about coming to the Americas and seeing these people practice like Jewish customs.
Wow.
And he's like, wow, I never seen this being practiced before. We only read about it in Europe.
Wow.
Like it's not being practiced. And
It's
they just
amazing.
reading about it in the Bible.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like this is something that they spread out in village and village in Europe, and they're like reading about Jewish customs and traditions and King Solomon and all these different people, but nobody's living out that tradition. They come over here to the Americas, and we got real Jewish customs. We
Mm.
burying our dead with certain Jewish customs and
Yeah.
traditions. We got certain sacrifices that are like resemble Jewish customs, like old world Jewish customs. So yeah, it's a wild history when you really look at the timeline and you really focus on the timeline, you know.